In Laboratory Reddit, today's story is...
My wife denied having an affair when I answered her phone and heard a male voice, but weeks later she said we should try an open marriage, and I responded that she was free to leave now. Her reaction when I filed for divorce was unforgettable. A few days ago, my soon-to-be ex-wife Gemma, 25, and I, 26, had a huge argument over my accusations about her infidelity. I need to know if I was wrong. For context, we've been married for 2 years and have been together for 4 years total. However, during the last few months, I've increasingly suspected that she's having an affair with a coworker. It all started with the typical signs: coming home late every day, staying up until late hours, texting someone while claiming it was just work, and behaving strangely. At first, I didn't think she could be having an affair. I simply believed that maybe she was stressed from work, and that's why she was acting weird. 2 weeks ago, her phone rang while she was in the shower. On the screen appeared the name of a female coworker of hers whom I know. I've seen her several times when we've gone out with Gemma, and I decided to answer to tell her that my wife was in the shower and to call back later. But as soon as I answered, I heard a male voice on the other end. I stayed quiet for a few seconds while the man continued talking, asking if Gemma could meet him for lunch. It took me a moment to understand what was happening, and then I responded that she was showering. As soon as I spoke, the call disconnected. When Gemma came out of the shower, I confronted her. She didn't seem uncomfortable at all and simply told me that she must have saved the contact incorrectly. The person I had spoken to was another coworker and was probably inviting her to lunch with a client, not just her. She was so relaxed about it that I almost started to think that maybe everything was normal, but for the rest of the day, I couldn't get it out of my head. It was then that I began to consider that maybe she wasn't being faithful to me. I tried to talk to her about this a couple of times in the following days, but she simply ignored me, saying I was overreacting. Since she refused to talk about it, I became even more suspicious and decided to investigate on my own, for my peace of mind. I tried to check her phone, messages, and calls while she was sleeping, but it seems she had become more careful, so I didn't find anything. I had been feeling tremendously strange and upset during the 2 weeks since that call, and even more so because I couldn't find evidence to confirm or disprove my suspicions. Every time I tried to talk to her, she simply ignored it. I felt like I was going crazy. But then, a few days ago, Gemma sat me down with a concerned expression. I thought we were finally going to talk about the issue, and I would discover the truth. Instead of addressing what I was thinking, she told me that she was feeling very stressed from work and that she noticed our marriage was losing its spark. She blurted out that she had rushed into this relationship and then into marriage without thinking much about it, and that we're both quite young, so we should probably explore ourselves now. But she didn't want to get divorced, and since open marriages are becoming more socially accepted, she thought we should try that. That was the last straw. It was all I needed to hear. I immediately told her that we didn't need any open marriage agreement because she was free to leave right now. I told her I knew all about her coworker, that I knew she had been having an affair, and that although I couldn't prove it at that moment, I just knew it. I told her she was free to go to him. She didn't have to worry about our marriage because I was going to file for divorce. Then she started yelling at me, saying I had no idea what I was talking about and that she had always been loyal to me. Again, I mentioned that phone call and she started telling me I was acting crazy, that it was just a mistake and that I was jumping to conclusions. I responded that it didn't matter because if she was thinking about an open marriage, I was already done with her. For me, that's not something I can accept, and the fact that she even considered it was insulting to me. The argument got worse. There were many insults, and in the end, she simply left after packing her bag. I didn't stop her. It's been 3 days since we last spoke, and now that the anger and sadness have subsided a bit, I'm starting to wonder if I could be wrong. I don't know why, but I feel guilty, so I need to know, was I wrong? Am I the idiot for accusing my wife of infidelity? Update 1. Thank you so much to everyone who commented on my post. I think I now have much more clarity about the situation, and I'm not going to crawl back to her. Actually, I don't think I was going to do that anyway, but now I'm pretty convinced that she was cheating on me and just got angry because I found out. I've talked to my parents about it, and they said they'll look for a good lawyer for me. I trust their judgment since my father worked at a law firm before retiring, so I guess I don't have to worry about the legal part. Apart from that, these haven't been easy days for me. The more I think about it, the more I realize how I've been fooled. I guess a part of me still wanted to believe that maybe she wasn't cheating on me, and there was a perfectly innocent explanation for all of this. That's why I was waiting, but when she said she wanted to open our marriage and explore ourselves, everything went down the drain. I don't think that has any justification. especially after having been together for so long and having gone through so much. She's right that we're young, but when we started dating, we were both very firm that we were doing it with the intention of getting married, as neither of us was the type of person interested in casual flings. It seems I stayed the same, but she changed her mind. Well, there's not much to do about it. I just have to accept the facts. That's the hard part, I guess. I'm keeping myself as busy as possible, spending a lot of time at work to distract myself. When I get home, I do household chores or just watch TV to silence my thoughts. Last night, I took the trouble to pack up all the things Gemma had left, put them in a box to make it convenient for her to take them when she shows up. And to be honest, I was sick of seeing her things everywhere. I didn't want them to remind me that I shared my life with this woman, and now everything is ruined because of her. Anyway, I don't know when she'll contact me, but I'm clear that our marriage is over. It's taken me time to accept it, and it still feels pretty unreal even saying it, but that's the reality now, and I have to face it. Update 2. It's been 4 days since my last update. 2 days ago, my father put me in touch with a lawyer, and this morning we filed for divorce. It was a big step, and I felt terrible about it, but as I said, it had to be done. Interestingly, a couple of hours ago, Gemma showed up. We hadn't spoken since our big fight after which she left the house, so I was quite surprised to see her. When I opened the door, she asked me if I was still angry with her and if I still believed she had been cheating on me. She said it as if it were something completely impossible, I guess trying to make this seem like a normal fight that we could easily resolve. But for me, it wasn't a little argument that could be solved like that. Before she could say anything else, I informed her that I had filed for divorce that morning. She definitely wasn't expecting that, because she was completely shocked. She was stunned and didn't know what to say for the first few minutes. I took that opportunity to also tell her that I had a box with her things for her to take and leave if she wanted. After all, I was the owner of the house. I had inherited it from my great uncle, so if anyone had to leave, it should be her. Then she started arguing with me, saying I was overreacting and that she couldn't believe I had filed for divorce over a stupid fight like this. She told me she had come to talk and fix things, but now she wasn't so sure because I was acting like a crazy person, according to her. And although I might be a crazy person from her point of view, in my opinion, I think I was the only sensible person in that situation. Let's be real. Even if I assumed she wasn't cheating on me, she suggested we try an open marriage, and I'm not okay with that. It only worsened my suspicions. So if she still expected me to be waiting, lamenting, she was wrong. I told her there was nothing to fix because I simply couldn't trust her anymore. And even after everything that had happened, the least she could do was respect the relationship we had had for so long and tell me the truth. But even now, she was still acting as if she was completely innocent, trying to make me believe that her behavior had been normal and that I was just being paranoid. I told her her attitude was deplorable and that I simply didn't want to be with her anymore. I told her it was over, and honestly, it felt like a huge relief. I thought it would be much harder than it actually was. In any case, she didn't take it well. She was making a scene right there on the porch, and, as I didn't want her to embarrass us in front of the neighbors, I let her in. Once inside, she started yelling at me even louder, accusing me of being a psychopath, a paranoid, and telling me I was ruining her life. I didn't defend myself. I didn't think it was important to say something or try to justify myself because I knew I hadn't done anything wrong. She was getting defensive and trying to make me the bad guy because deep down she knew she had screwed up. And she couldn't accept it, so she needed a scapegoat, and there I was. I simply let her yell at me until she ran out of energy and then collapsed on the sofa, sobbing like a child. Even then, I didn't say anything because I didn't feel I should comfort her. She wasn't there to comfort me when I cried myself to sleep every night for the past few days. So, well, it's only fair. Besides, even though she didn't want to admit it, I knew she had been cheating on me. And the fact that I didn't let her humiliate herself in front of the entire neighborhood should have been enough. She shouldn't have expected me to sit next to her trying to comfort her while she cried. But for some reason, when she noticed that I was simply standing there, saying nothing while she yelled and cried, she also started accusing me of having no heart. Along with everything else, she really expected me to sit next to her while she cried and try to comfort her, which simply doesn't make sense, because I had literally just filed for divorce. She had been dishonest with me for the past few months, or however long her affair had been going on. I don't understand why she thought I would be so kind as to comfort her. I told her she was being ridiculous, and that she should leave because she was wasting her time with her tantrums. She wasn't going to make me change my mind, so she better go. Once again, she started acting hysterical and insulting me, and that's where I finally drew the line. I brought her the box, told her to take it to her car and leave, unless she wanted me to call the police. Because, honestly, I couldn't take it anymore. She had put me through enough, and she was still refusing to be honest with me. There was no reason to continue dealing with her. I was done. But then she refused to leave. She said she had invested enough time and energy in this relationship and that she wouldn't leave without at least having a civilized conversation with me about what happened. She told me that I absolutely had to give her the chance to explain herself, that I couldn't treat her like this, as if we weren't married and our time together meant nothing to me. I wasn't thrilled with the idea, but she seemed determined, so I told her that if she could behave normally and control herself, maybe I would consider it. But if not, I would want her to leave. She immediately stopped crying, dried her tears, and then started confessing to me that she had indeed been cheating on me and had been trying to make me believe otherwise. But now she was willing to be honest. She said she really wanted to give our marriage a second chance. She said we can fix it, that we could look for a marriage counselor. We don't have to go through with the divorce. I can simply cancel it, and we can try to repair things because she has faith in us. I wasn't surprised at all. I had known all along that she was cheating on me, but it was definitely a relief to hear it from her mouth. It was somehow vindicating for me, but I told her there was absolutely no chance of giving this marriage a second chance. It was over. From the moment I realized she had been having an affair and wanted an open marriage, it was all over. I repeated to her that her coworker could have her now. I wasn't interested in any marriage counseling. Counseling and therapy are for problems that can be solved. This isn't a problem we're having. She made the decision to cheat on me and then tried to manipulate me, which was also a choice. I don't think these are faults that deserve forgiveness. In fact, they're not even mistakes. They're decisions she made consciously, and now she has to face the consequences. It's that simple. I told her it had taken her too long to confess that she had been cheating on me, and now she seriously thought she was doing me a favor by telling me a truth that I had already discovered on my own. I also told her that it wasn't up to her to decide whether to give our marriage another chance. She doesn't have the moral high ground in this situation. It's my decision, and I've already decided that I don't want to be with her. That's why I filed for divorce that morning. So now she can cry, she can make scenes, she can call me whatever she wants. But it's not going to change my decision. She wanted a civilized conversation. She had it. Now she had to go. I was very firm this time when I assured her that if she tried to stay again, I would definitely call the police, and that wouldn't be good for her. I had already packed her things. If she needed anything else, she could come back later to pick it up, but now she needed to leave me alone because I was getting tired of her and her presence. And again, she started babbling, begging me not to leave her, telling me it was a mistake and that it would never happen again, words that meant absolutely nothing to me. I just stood there for about 5 minutes and then told her I was done. I took out my phone, and when she realized I was going to call the police, she left. Not without first making a bunch of comments about how cruel I was, how marrying me had been the biggest mistake of her life, and things like that. But even that didn't matter to me, because I knew this was over, and soon our marriage would be officially dissolved. So, honestly, she could say whatever she wanted. I just felt relieved to be able to move on with my life, because for the past few days, since that phone call, this had been consuming me. After she left, I finally opened a very expensive bottle of wine that we had been saving for special occasions and ordered takeout for dinner because I wanted to celebrate this day. Clearly, I wasn't losing anything. If Gemma had really loved me, it would have been easy for her to be faithful to me, just as I had been to her. And in the last 2 weeks, I think I've had enough drama for a lifetime. So now that she's gone, I think I deserve to celebrate. I'm fine for now. Let's see what the divorce brings, but I'm sure I'll be able to handle that too. The worst is over. I'm sure of that. Update 3. Hello, everyone. It's been 2 weeks since my last update, and a few days ago, Gemma was served with the divorce papers. I hadn't heard from her until yesterday, but after receiving the documents, she finally decided to call me again. I had forgotten to block her, and I was curious to know what she would have to say, so I ended up answering. On the phone, she asked me quite cautiously if I was sure about this. I could tell she was trying not to cry, and for a moment, I felt a little bad for her, but that only lasted a few seconds. I quickly pulled myself together, reminding myself of what had happened and why exactly we were getting divorced. I told her I was 100% sure. She didn't say anything else after that. She just hung up. About 50 minutes later, I received a message from her saying she was really sorry for everything and that I deserved better. She said she was sorry for failing me like that she still loved me, and that she had ended things with her lover right after I found out, because she felt guilty. I don't know what she was trying to achieve with that, but it certainly didn't make me feel sorry for her. The rest of the message was apologies over and over again. I didn't know what to respond, but at the end she said she was going to accept all the terms of the divorce because she knew she had probably already caused enough problems and didn't want to complicate my life further by contesting anything. That part did affect me positively because I expected her to fight tooth and nail trying to ruin me even more. I thought she would try to get revenge, but it was a pleasant surprise to know that I won't have to spend more time on this than the minimum necessary. We just have to wait for the mandatory period in our state to pass, and we'll be done. It seems strange to think that after all this time, Gemma and I will no longer be married. We will never speak to each other again. We will never live together again. Well, it's a new beginning for both of us, especially for me, and I hope to make the best of it. She was right about one thing. We are young, and now that I'll soon be single again, I plan to explore myself and improve. Romance is off my agenda for a while, but I'm definitely going to try new things, keep myself busy, and try to be better. Thank you all who commented. Your support and positivity have really helped me, and I'm grateful for it. Update 4. Hi everyone, it's been 6 months since my last update, and I'm now officially divorced. The process was relatively smooth, I barely had to see her, and when we did coincide, neither of us spoke directly to each other, so it went pretty well. I wouldn't say I'm having a great time, but I'm much better than when I was posting here. I've started therapy on my own, and it's helping. It's easier for me to process my feelings and deal with all of this. I've also gone back to writing, as it used to be one of my favorite hobbies, and I've been posting some texts on Instagram that people seem to like. So I'm thinking of creating a page just for fun. I haven't dated in the last few months, although many friends have tried to set me up with someone. But I think right now I want to be single and just spend time alone for a while. Everyone knows exactly why Gemma and I got divorced. I didn't think I should hide the truth just to protect her reputation. She brought it on herself. So I told everyone the truth, and obviously, they all supported me instead of her. So I don't know what's going on with her. She has deactivated all her social media and hasn't been active for the last few months, right after our divorce was finalized. I think the last I heard is that she had left her job and was staying with her parents, but that was a few months ago, so things might have changed. But I really don't care. Speaking of that, my ex-in-laws tried to make me change my mind when they found out we were getting divorced. A couple of weeks after my last update. As I said, I had already made my decision and nothing was going to make me change. They were quite upset and wanted me to give her a second chance. They came to beg me. I only asked them one thing. Would they expect Gemma to come back to me and try to fix things if I had been the one who cheated on her? That didn't sit well with them, and afterwards they blocked me. But I don't regret it. I don't understand why they thought they could change my mind. I respected them and got along well with them, but that doesn't mean I was going to sacrifice my dignity and go back to Gemma. Anyway, all of that is water under the bridge now. I'm looking forward to a better future and just wanted to post a little update on how I'm doing. Thanks, everyone. Update 5. Hi, everyone. It's been 3 years since my divorce, and, well, I'm happier than ever. I started dating my new girlfriend about 1.5 years ago and recently proposed to her. She said yes, so now we're engaged. We're planning to get married at the end of the year. She knows all about my past and has been very patient, kind, and understanding, as initially I wanted to take things slow. But yes, I love her and couldn't be happier. I really didn't think I would find love again so soon, but it's funny. I had known Gemma for many years before we started dating, and yet she betrayed my trust. Now I feel that when the time is right, it just is. I'm really happy with her and looking forward to getting married. I haven't heard directly from Gemma since the divorce, which is fine with me, but friends have told me that she has reactivated all her social media. She's dating someone new and has also moved to another state. I'm happy for her. I hope she finds happiness because I don't want to hold grudges anymore. We weren't right for each other, and in some way, it's good that it ended. I would say I'm happy with my life.